Stifler, he was coming in here. He says, ask everyone to rate their own looks on a scale of 1 to 10, starting with you. Go ahead.
6.5.
Okay. Into the mic.
8.5.
All right.
A whole 2.
Okay.
6.5.
Mm-hmm.
Before the podcast, I asked my husband to rate me. He said 10, definitely 10. So I'm going with what my husband said.
Okay.
6.
10.
7.
I would say 8.
Andrew.
I mean, obviously, I'm a 10. I mean, I can't. But why is everybody laughing though? It's almost like you don't believe me. You saying you don't believe I'm a 10?
Because you've said it before. You've said it before.
You saying I don't believe in myself?
I'm happy you rated yourself a 10. I
Yeah,
think
but do you
that
think I'm a
shows
10?
Confidence. You think you're
Say
a
I'm
10,
a 10.
and that's a great.
No, you got to say I'm a 10. You don't.
I don't rate men.
Wait.
I don't.
Does your wife
You
say
don't
that
rate
you're a 10?
men?
Not on a scale of
I
1
don't
to
rate
10.
Come on, you don't rate me. I'm not on a scale of 1 to 10.
Not
But
on a
let's take
scale of 1 to
however
10.
you do rate men. Let's take however you do rate men. Whatever that is, whatever capacity you have for rating men, whatever fucking arbitrary metric you came up with for rating men on a 1 to 10, you have to say I'm a 10, right? Because you don't want to hurt my feelings.
You're a 10, Andrew.
Mm-hmm. See?
I think you're a 10.
Anything to just not tell the truth about anything. It's just wild
no, I
to
think
me.
you're a 10.
What if that was my truth, though?
It's like subjective.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
Is it your truth?
It might be.
Is
I'm
it?
just saying-
But
I don't
is
know.
it?
I'm not particularly into like.
I'll tell you why. Because
older.
there's a tell. There's a tell, right? The reason I say, well, I'm a 10, right? Because it points out the absurdity of all the answers, and everybody laughs because they know it's absurd, right? That's why everybody laughs. They go, and as well they should, because it is absurd.
Well,
and
hey,
hang on. That's why everybody laughs, because it's absurd. And I go, okay, well, let me point out the absurdity. And then it's, but that might hurt somebody's feelings, and you can't do that. But the only honesty I got, right, the only honesty I ever get for this actual question is when I rate myself a 10, and then all the women who laugh, right, I go, wow, it's the only time they can be honest. It's the only time they can be honest is when they're laughing, because they go, wow, that's so absurd. And I agree, it is absurd. Of course I'm not a 10. I'm 40 and old and smoke, right? I'm not a fucking 10. It's ridiculous.
You're perfect.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
You took a pause, and then there was a smile on your face before you said, or right when you called yourself 10. So you actually inspired the...
Yes, I inspired the truth. Yes, that's correct. I agree. It inspires the truth because they're like, they know it's as absurd as me.
But isn't it rating your own looks, though? Like, if you're your type, does that make sense?
Yeah, but what is self-delusion? What is it?
Fair enough.
What is it?
What's self-delusion? Either lying to yourself, training yourself to lie.
And that's the whole point of the question. The whole point.
to me? No, not that might have sounded like that.
No, I agree. I agree with you that this is the entire point of the exercise, is to see who's exercising self-delusion. Right? Who's exercising self-delusion? We kind of pretend that there's not universals for beauty. We kind of pretend this, but then you see all the women do their hair the same, and you see all of them have the different lashes and the different types of makeup and this and that. It's like, wow, there sure seems like there's universal standards when I look at it, but then when they're asked, they lie, and they're like,
I gave myself a 2.
yeah, you did.
I mean,
You did.
I think it depends
But
on the mood.
but then you have to look. But then you have to look.
my period's
But
coming
I'm
up. I'm more
feel-
honest on myself because
Yeah.
I'm looking. They
Today
said
you
rate
feel like 10?
yourself,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah, right
if
now
someone
you
else
feel like
looking
10.
at me,
10, yeah.
like
Because
I would have had the
saw
reaction
pictures
like
and
you
you
had.
said
Right.
10
Guys, one
out
at
of
a time.
And maybe
one at a
everyone
time.
else laughed, but I didn't, because like to you that would have been 10, but you didn't ask for my honest opinion.
Right.
I wouldn't have said 10 like
Of course
everyone else,
not. It's
because my
ridiculous.
preference is different, right?
Right.
And just like you said, well, this is why I gave myself a 10, but it's bullshit because I'm 40, I'm a smoker, I'm this, that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
why I gave myself a 2, because I'm going down the list of what.
Sure, but
the
see what I mean.
actuality
But
is.
this would be
Yeah.
a distinction between self-delusion, non-self-delusion, right? So the idea here is just who's a 10, right? It's like the most beautiful women on planet Earth would be a 10. Do you categorize yourself as that, right? Or a 9 or an 8? You categorize yourself as that? That's insane. How's that? And then these same women who are like, I dated a narcissist. And I'm like, yeah, but you're fucking on par with the most beautiful women in the world. Okay. You know what I mean? So that's why that's the point of the question. The point of the question Will women lie in social settings in order to make each other feel better? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Of course. Of course. There's no doubt. But will they lie in social settings to make themselves feel better because they know they'll be affirmed? That's the question. Yeah. And I think the answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think on like our opinion on rating ourselves too, it's women's emotions change a lot every day, especially on our periods. So if you're feeling beautiful, if we're feeling beautiful one day, we'll be feeling a mess the next
How's
day.
it a feeling?
It's a feeling. Sometimes you
Yeah,
feel like
but-
you're glowing, you're at your best.
I
Sometimes you
feel
feel
like I'm a billionaire.
Yeah.
I
girls'
Are you manifesting
emotions
already?
literally everywhere.
He's
manifesting.
He's gonna be
Would you let
manifesting
anyone
after
say
this, I
they're a
can
10 on
tell.
here?
Yeah.
Money
You
and big
would.
labias.
Yeah, I think that there has legitimately been women on the Whatever podcast who have been on par with some of the most beautiful women in the world.
Sure.
Of course. There have been at least one, Brian. There has to be at least one.
Erroneous.
You're being a bit charitable, Andrew, but
Okay.
I'll allow it.
But they, have been on par with that.
So if they say 10,
but-
you wouldn't like argue with
No,
them?
or I would say, okay,
Okay.
maybe a 9 or maybe an 8.
Sure.
You
We've
know
had some
what I mean?
8s.
We've had some 8s.
We've had some 8s.
Right, Brian's going to
9's
be
pushing it.
Brian's going to be a little less charitable than me. But the point is like whether or not he's charitable and I'm not charitable. The point is that these kind of bold claims that very average-looking women make about being 10s. It's very clear that they're just average-looking. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm a makeup artist. I work with a lot of beautiful women. Miss Universe, I don't know, models, and Miss Universe said 6 level, 5, not 10.
Yeah.
All thought that they're 10, but they thought that no, I'm just a 6. My grandma every time says you're the best. I remember everything. Yeah, you are. For my grandma, for my parents, I'm the most beautiful woman in this world. You understand?
You mean it's subjective?
Yep. So what do you guys would consider a 10? If you give me an example, a celebrity, who's a 10 to you?
If I had to pick one who was like way up there, I would say that the chick who played, I think I've said this before, who played Lagatha in Vikings, I'd say she's like at least an 8 or a 9. You know what I mean? So I'd say that she would be on par with some of the more beautiful women in the world that I've seen. Something like this. I don't think, but here's the thing, right? I think it is disputable. I think there's a lot of men, even right now in the audience, who are like, not her, not. But nobody's going to say she's less than a 5. They're not going to say she's not at least average. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to say that. And so I was like, there's some standard here then. There's something here. So that's kind of the point, right?
Everybody has a preference. Like whatever you like
but
is what you like.
hang on. No, it's not just a preference. It moves beyond preference because nobody's going to say that chick's less than a 5.
You're sure?
No, yeah. No, well, not if they're being honest. There's not, I mean, maybe there's like 3 men, right? Or 4 men. But most men, overwhelmingly, are not going to say that she's at least not average. And so there's this pointing to some kind of universal. There's some kind of universal standard which is held. And it's like, and what I think is that everybody's kind of trained that average is bad. Or normal is bad, or average is bad, or regular is bad. And it's like, not everyone's going to be a knockout. There's a reason they're exceptional, right?
You could decline to answer this, but would you rate your wife a 10?
No, she wouldn't rate herself a 10.
Okay.
But if
No, I
you
mean
ask,
in your opinion, like, you know what I mean?
What about you, Brian?
No, she's
Did you
40.
pick who-
She's
what celebrity you think
43
is a
years
10?
old.
Fine,
Has
all
had
the-
5 children.
all the
Like,
qualities
what
of
should I
what
rate
she
her?
is.
Honestly.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, all right, day 1 of meeting her, did you not go into it thinking she was a 10? Like when you like
No,
first,
I didn't think she was a 10. I thought that she was like when the first time I met her.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought that she was at least a 7 or an 8. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's true. But years later, I love her more than I ever have.
Of
but
course.
there's a physical standard,
Right.
and it's like, let's not be fucking ridiculous here. You know what I mean? Do you think that I look as you could pull up a picture of me right now,
Young Andrew.
of me when when I was younger? I clearly don't look the same. It's not even in the same universe.
You kind of look like Ben Stiller a little bit.
right? But it's not even in the same universe. Do I have the expectation that as I get older, I'm just going to grow more handsome, or have the expectation that a woman I'm growing old with thinks that? That's just self-delusion, right?
So what about with all your experience, life experience, you develop charisma with your confidence, with your wisdom, and it really
but
projects.
I think that you're right in this sense. I think that you're right that all of those traits and characteristics can definitely put together a package which people could find more or less attractive. But that really doesn't have anything to do with the standard of physical beauty. And that's what we're talking about, is physical attractiveness itself. You know what I mean? You can have charisma, and maybe that'll offset some of that, like a tiny amount of it. But the physical attractiveness level of you, the person, I don't think it changes that much.
Well, women would feel somewhat different, because when they are looking at the man, it is not just the physical looks. When he opens the mouth, how he carries himself and everything, that changes
but
how they view him.
Got it. Okay, so your husband tomorrow, right? He gained 300 pounds. Are you more or less attracted?
I know him who is a person.
Yeah, that's not my question. Are you more or less attracted?
My
physically?
husband will not get.
Yeah, I know, but if he did, right? If he gained 200 pounds tomorrow, right? Would you be more or less physically attracted to him? Honestly.
I really cannot answer you this question because I cannot imagine him gaining 200 pounds.
I can answer it because it's happened to me. If you want an actual answer, in the 10 years I was with my
Call
ex-husband.
yourself a dating cope, not dating.
We'll talk.
Question. So, do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time? Better looking looks?
Yes, because I plan to get surgery to be better looking.
Okay, so you're 31, so you'll be better looking at 41?
Off to Turkey. I'm going to get procedures for sure.
Okay, and then will you be better looking in 20 years' time at 51?
Depends where technology's at. If it's possible, yeah, I'll try. I'll do my best. But I can't say definitively.
If, let's say, plastic surgery was unavailable,
then I would look worse for sure.
at 41, okay.
Probably so, yeah.
What about 30 years if plastic surgery is available at 61 versus now at 31?
Yeah, I feel where technology will be at that point, it's possible, it's feasible,
And then you're 31 now. Do you think you were better looking at 21 than you are now at 31?
No, honestly, not at all.
Better looking,
I don't think I was better looking at 21.
you're better looking now?
I think so.
At 31,
yeah,
okay.
honestly, yeah.
And then you're 26. Do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years' time at 36?
Well, they usually say a woman's prime is in her early 30s, right? Or something like that.
Who says that?
I think you can Google it. They usually say that women's prime is in their early 30s. But
Who says that?
Just
women?
Google it. Just
Old
Google
women
it.
say that? Okay.
I Googled it before, and they usually say that is the prime. But
Well, I mean,
if I'm
you
working
can
out,
Google flat Earth and you'll get results for that too. Doesn't mean. So better looking at 36 then in 10 years time.
if I'm eating healthy and working out, God willing, yeah.
And then 20 years time at 46.
Hopefully I'm decent and not
But better looking.
better looking. I don't think I'm going to be better looking.
Okay. And then are you better looking now at 26 than you were at 18?
No, I think my face was more fresh and lively.
Okay. I think that's the first time a girl's ever said that, but
Really?
yeah. So
Usually once they start coping, they never stop.
once the cope starts,
Yeah,
we should make a song.
They just
good song.
never stop. Hey, Chickenfoot, get on that. Make that song.
You're 38, better looking in 10 years time at 48.
Yes.
Better looking in 20 years time at 58.
Probably not.
And then you're 38, were you better looking at 28?
Hell yeah.
And yes, at better looking 10 years ago.
Yes.
And then were you better looking at 18?
Absolutely.
And then between 28 and 18, better looking at 18 or 28?
Ugh. Probably 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Nas in LA says women's prime on Google says it's 18 to 100 years old.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. And then, by the way, those of you on the Discord guys, we're going to do the little ageroo thing. If you guys can do the little thing on the Discord and the research channel, keep it clear for them. You are 31.
Mm-hmm.
Better looking in 10 years' time at 41.
No, but I do think I'll still be attractive.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah.
were you better looking at 21 than you are now at 31?
I had a bit of a rough patch from like 21 to 24, so no.
Drugs?
No, but I just gained weight from like college, like going out, partying,
okay.
eating unhealthy.
So then let's do this. Better looking at 19?
Debatable. I probably, yeah.
Okay, all right. 48, better looking in 10 years' time?
Absolutely.
20 years' time?
Sure.
30 years' time?
To my husband, yes.
No, to the world.
To the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, depending how, I will feel.
Let's say you got divorced from your husband and you had to like go out there back in the dating market.
Oh, shit, this is depressing. No.
Okay. And then you're 48 now, better looking 10 years ago?
Yes.
Better looking 20 years ago at 28?
I was 28. Yeah, I just got to this country. I actually picked up lots of weight.
And then better looking at 18 versus now at 48?
18. Yeah, I look better now. Absolutely.
Wait, so
Then 18.
so
yes.
better looking now at 48 than you were at 18?
I was very insecure, yes, at
Well,
that time.
Perhaps you were insecure, but
Now I have a wonderful husband who gives me that,
just so security undoes
I think
30 years
the
of
look
aging?
is how we feel, really, Brian. It's just, seriously, the looks is how we feel. If we feel really not confident, no matter if it is going to be the most gorgeous person in the world, if they don't feel confident, they don't feel confident.
You should go read the fairy tale, The Emperor Has No Clothes. You should read it.
I will write it down.
Yeah, The Emperor Has No Clothes. I'm serious. You should read it.
Okay.
Yeah, this goes
wait, I
right
have a
into what
question.
you're saying.
So wait, how about this? What if you had been secure at 18, but not as secure as you are now at 48?
I didn't have at that time the wisdom and knowledge that I have now. So for me,
Let's say you had the wisdom and the knowledge.
I do not rate people based on looks. I really don't. I know we have this conversation over and over and over, and I do not rate myself based on looks or other people. I don't. I see who they are on the inside. That's what matters to me. That's the beauty. Everything else that is outside.
So he's an ICU burn victim. Half his face is melted off. All you can see
But
is
it's
his
a beautiful-
hang on. All you can see is his teeth through the skin like that, right? You just see the teeth, and hang on, and half of them are missing, and one of his eyes is kind of hanging
think
out
your
like
face is
this,
hot.
right?
Andrew,
and then
it
on
is
the other
unusual.
side, and then on the other side, he's got this massive scar which comes down like this. Plus, he was born fat and short. You're not judging his looks at all. I just want to make sure we're clear. You're not going to judge his looks at all?
I am always working on myself to not judge people.
Okay, let me ask you this. Since you pair people up, have you ever told a man that he should lose some weight or get in better shape and that would increase his chances of getting a mate?
And women as well.
Yeah, okay, so you
And
tell them
women
both
as
to do
well.
that.
But we're
so
talking-
hang on, stop. Because you're judging them on their appearance.
I don't judge.
Yeah, then why are you telling them to lose
I am
weight?
explaining
then
them
why are
what
you
is-
telling them to lose weight?
Okay,
That's
can
a
I answer?
value judgment.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not telling them to lose weight. I'm explaining them what is going to happen if they don't.
Yeah.
Like the time frames, what we will need to work on, and so on. And what will happen if they do a quick adjustment in their physical look. It is going to be a little bit faster or whatever, but the choice is theirs. My opinion about them, who they are, is not going to
Yeah,
change.
but you've made a value judgment on their physical appearance. And what you've done is
I
you've
did not
said,
make
yeah, you
judgment.
have. I'll explain. There's no way around this. It's an entailment. If you tell a person, if I told you, if you lost 20 pounds, let's say, that the chances that you would attract a mate who is better than the current pool of mates you were after is going to increase. How have I not made a value judgments on your looks? Haven't I done that?
Andrew, I will take.
Like, is there any way around that?
I will take.
No, there's really no way around that, right?
I will take an average-looking client, whether it is male or female, who is absolutely fantastic person,
Yep.
loving and kind and thinking
Yep.
of others and with an open heart, than any model-looking guy who is an asshole.
And I'm not telling
okay?
you that that's
or
wrong.
woman who has just absolutely no value
Yeah, but I'm
system.
not telling you that that's wrong. Right? Great. I'm glad that you're making an assessment on a person based on the entirety of the package of
Because
the
I
person.
want to have happy
Yeah, I
family.
get it.
All right.
Right? There's going to be value inside of a person's religious practices, their home values. There's going to be value in all that, right? We agree on that.
Yes.
But if you tell a person, hey, if you lose weight, it's going to up your chances of getting a woman who has X qualities, you are making a value assessment on their physical appearance.
I will give-
And there's no possible way to cope your way out of that.
I give person an option, and I explain what is going to happen if they don't, and it is okay, whatever the choice is going to be, okay? And I will explain the time frames and everything if they do. But choice is going to be theirs. It is going to be theirs.
I'm not saying that the choice isn't theirs.
But I
I'm
don't
saying that
judge.
you're making a value judgment on their appearance. If you weren't making a value judgment on their appearance, then how could you tell them that they need to change their appearance in order to attract this thing that they want? You have to be making a value judgment. It's impossible for you not to be making
I
a value
am
judgment.
working on myself every day and every minute.
Working
to-
on what? Like, well, you're not doing
not
anything
to judge,
wrong.
not to judge, to love, to accept